Hello, I'm the Ranger. Today I got what you call a challenge for those who use wood to cook with. Most of y'all say y'all don't bring any type of stove out in the middle of the woods when y'all go camping, because you got all the firewood you need out in the woods. But here's my challenge. Hello, I'm the Ranger, and don't forget, I'm a fictional character for this channel. Please be advised that I'm a fictional character called the Ranger. I hope you enjoy my videos. I want you to go out in the middle of the woods and build you a camp. Put no firewood up, no firewood. Just get your camp up, your tarp, your hammock or tent, or your tent, whatever you use to go camping. Set it up. Then bring out your pot or your pans or your little stove things, well, no burners, and have your food. And the only thing you can bring is a neck knife. A small little knife that goes right here. Besides your cooking utensils like your forks and spoons, and only a little bitty knife like this. A small knife. Then I want you to let it rain for 3 days. And on a rainy day, I want you to go out on the third day, or after it rains really hard, and I want you to cook your food with that wood that's been wet. Because there's claims that they only use firewood to cook their food. Let me tell you a story. My friend, Andrew Majuri, me and him went camping one day. And I noticed he didn't have a cook kit. A cook kit requires a type of stove that uses gas or oil or alcohol or some type of fuel to cook food with. It comes with a pot and utensils, maybe an iron mitt. You know, a little mitt to grab the pots or glove, and some spices. That's why I call it cook kit. Now, he didn't have one. I said, man, you need to get a cook kit. You know what he says? I have all this wood to cook my food on. I'm like, dude, you need a cook kit. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I got all this wood. Look at all this wood. Look at all that wood there. Look at that wood there. Look at that wood over there. Look at, I can use that wood. I can use all that wood. Because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know nothing. That's what he told me. I don't know nothing. I don't need a cook kit. Look, firewood. Look at all that firewood there. And firewood over there. And look, there's some more firewood over here. So he went out one day. His plan was to go to our summer camp. And camp there for a whole week. But he didn't check the weather. See, that's another thing you need to learn. Is always check the weather, what it's going to do for the whole week. Now, sometimes those news people don't know what they're talking about, but sometimes they're right. And lately, they've been right. There will be a hurricane hitting Earth on Saturday. And there you go, hurricane hitting Earth on Saturday. Look at all that firewood. Look at that, firewood, firewood, firewood. Okay. So he goes out camping, and his plan is to stay out there for a week. So it rains. The third day he was out there, he had to take a boat in. He took a canoe, a inflatable raft. One of them good canoes. And it rained from evening, all night, and all day. So he was stuck there for almost a day and a half. You couldn't do nothing at night, but it finally stopped around midnight the next day. It rained all evening. It's around 3 o'clock, all the way through the night into the next day. And around 12 o'clock that night, and it stopped. So he was getting hungry because he couldn't cook no food because everything was wet. Everything was wet because he forgot to cover up his wood. He forgot his big knife. And he learned from a lot of YouTubers like you what to do in the middle of the woods, but never in the rain. Never experience a rainstorm. No one showed him how to process wood when it's wet. He didn't have the right tools. The only thing he had was a neck knife. So he had to wait. He was hungry. He had to wait almost another 12 hours to get dry food and eat it. Well, dry wood to cook his food. He was starving because all his wood was soaking wet. He didn't know how to process the wood because no one showed him how to process wood when it's wet. So here's my challenge to you wood burners. Set up a camp anywhere. You can put it outside your door, I don't care. Then go out when it rains, right after it rains. Show the camera that it's raining and you're underneath your tarp. And I want you to grab that wood and try to cook with it when it's wet. And the only tools you got is your tarp or your tent, a neck knife, your utensils to eat with, your pot, your plate, and forks and spices, whatever you want, what you cook, but you cannot use no fuel. You cannot have no alcohol or oil. And I want you to cook your food without a proper cook kit. I try to explain to my friend, you need a cook kit. Oh, you know what you're talking about. I have all this wood. He starved for almost 2 days and a half before he can pull out all the water that was in his canoe. It took him almost a half a day to get there, and it should take him another half a day back, but it's a little faster because the water was running. It was to his favor. When he went there, he took him a couple of hours to get there. Almost 5 hours, if I'm not mistaken, 5 hours to get there from canoe, because you have to go upstream. He had to empty the water out of the canoe to get into the canoe. Then he had to put his gear in there to get out. So there you go, my friends. I challenge any YouTuber to do a non-cook kit, non-oil, no gas, no nothing. Just the wood that's out there after it rains. Pick it up. And the only knife you got is your neck knife. That's it. That's a aluminum blade. That's it. That's all you can carry. Besides your pots, your forks, and your spices, your tent or your hammock, and a tarp. And I want you to sit underneath your tarp, and I want you to cook your food with that wood that's out there. Now, the next time I saw my friend, he had a cook kit. He had a burner, a rocket stove, because I didn't know what I was talking about. So you wood burners, that's my challenge to you. I don't care how you do it. That's the rules. No more than a knife the size of the knife I've been showing you. Your fork and your spoon. Your spices and your pots that you cook with, or your pan that you eat out of, your tarp or your tent, and that's it. I want you to show me that you can use that wood that's been wet. Because my friend he didn't learn that part, how to process wood either, and he didn't have his big knife. So you can't process any wood because you only got this little bitty knife. You can try, go for it. I meant if you want to break your little knife. But I want to see you can burn all that wet wood. So there's my challenge. For those who say I use only wood to cook my food, and you don't bring nothing else but the wood that's out here. It's been raining. All this wood's kind of wet. Look at it. Let's crack one open and see what's inside of it. That's wet as hell. And this is rotted. So if this is rotted, what you expect another tree? And you can't pick no limbs off the vines either. No dead trees have been hanging. I want the wood off the ground. Show me the wood off the ground, because that's what he had. He didn't have no wood that's in the trees or hanging. He had the wood on the ground. So show me that challenge. I want to see somebody do that challenge. Using nothing but the wood off the ground after it rained. Cook your meal off of that wood that's on the ground. Because I've learned from him, and I learned from experience, you always carry a cook kit with you that contains some type of alcohol, gas, or oil that burns so you can cook your food when you're ready to eat. Because experience shows you what you need and what you should not bring into the woods. Experience and learning from others, because I try to teach them you need a cook kit, because one day your wood that's on the ground is going to be wet. It's going to be hard. You're hungry, you want to eat now, you don't have time to build a fire. All right, I'm the Ranger. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. They do help. I hope anybody pick up this challenge. So I'm picking up this challenge, Ranger, and I want to see you do that. I want to see you cook with wet wood, only on the ground, nothing hanging. Look how pretty this is. Nothing hanging, and cook your food. And the only thing you have is a small neck knife, your utensils that you cook with, your pots and pans, and your spices. Don't forget. See you next video.